Hello everybody, VanVleet here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 104-99 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, before we get into this, before I break this game down, I want to throw out a little theory to you guys. Are the Toronto Raptors tanking right now? Have they completely switched their strategy from going all in on this season, bringing in Kawhi and all that, to tanking? Right? Is that the new wave? Is this what the Toronto Raptors' new plan is? We've lost 3 of our last 4 games. They've all been pretty close. Maybe they're trying to keep the games entertaining while we tank. Maybe it's Mazai's master plan. Let me know your thoughts on that stupid conspiracy theory down below. But, what are the Toronto Raptors currently doing right now? It's kind of weird. It's really weird to see because we're playing phenomenal defense. Kyle Lowry's out here being a playmaker and stuff, but we really need someone who can be consistently relied upon for a scoring option. Kyle Lowry's usually that player. I'm not saying a guaranteed 20 points per night, even though that's been his averages or close to it the past few seasons. But, Kyle Lowry's at least going to give you 10 points, minimum 10 points. That's usually what you get from Kyle Lowry if it's a bad game, right? He can at least give you a few threes if he's not driving and slashing and being aggressive. Even that right now would be great because we would have won this game if Kyle Lowry literally gave us anything on the offensive end. 0 points from Kyle Lowry tonight. 0 for 5 from the field, all 3-pointers. I talked for 6 minutes, so I won't get into it too much tonight. But, if you're not shooting well, don't just shoot threes. Kyle Lowry's a good driver. He's a good floater. He has that little post fadeaway that he's got. He's got a lot of skills in his repertoire. Start taking other shots, Kyle. We have a West Coast road trip coming up. Obviously, the beginning of the podcast was dumb. We're not trying to tank. But if we want to, still be competitive and not fall out of the top seed in the Eastern Conference, we have a tough road trip coming up. If Kyle Lowry doesn't pick it up, he's doing fine. I got to give him credit. He's doing other things on the court, but we need Kyle to not have 0 points. It's unacceptable for him to have games like this. If he continues this type of play, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. Kawhi can't do it all. Kawhi had a solid game tonight, and we'll get into a few positives because this game wasn't all bad. But the biggest issue right now is our second-best player is not playing like our second-best player. So Kyle Lowry, we really need you to come back. I'm not saying you have to go back to that 20-point-per-game guy, but you got to be a threat. You got to, at minimum, be a threat on the basketball court on the offensive end because he's not that right now. He's not. He's passing up all of his shots. Everyone knows he's going to pass. He's getting assist numbers, but that's really all he's looking for at this point because he's lost all confidence in his jumper. Lost all confidence, and he's, for some reason, not driving. I don't know. I said I wouldn't talk too much about Kyle Lowry. If you want to hear a really heated rant, go to our loss versus the Nets. I kind of flamed Kyle Lowry in there. In the mob, OG Anunoby, I'm not going to bag on him as, I would Kyle Lowry, as Kyle Lowry's a 4-time All-Star and, should be in a, he should understand this season is the biggest of his career. Could be his 1 year with a true superstar, win a chip and all that. OG obviously has all the excuses in the world to be a bit out of it right now, but we still got to call him out. He really hasn't been there the past few games. He just doesn't. He seems a bit lost on the court, in my opinion. He gets the ball. He's not confident with his threes. He's not driving the ball. He's just kind of passing and stuff. And his defense is usually stellar, right? He's clamp god, OG Anunoby, but he gets lost on the defensive end a bit this season. I'm just hoping OG is all good. I have full confidence he'll bounce back at some point. It's going to take time for OG to just get back into the swing of things. Obviously, he's dealing with some personal stuff that's tough and a few injuries here and there. So I have full faith in OG, but we're not going to be the team we want to be without OG being at a high level. He's an integral member of the bench mob now that's kind of depleted. DeLon Wright really didn't have it tonight. CJ was doing other things on the court, but that's not. You don't want to rely on CJ for doing other things on the court. You want him to hit shots and get a few points. He's not really getting points right now. 5 points for him tonight. 1 for 3. You heard Jack give him a lot of credit in the broadcast because he played solid defense and was swinging the ball and playing within the offense. But you're on this team to be a 3-point sniper, CJ. We need you to hit some threes. And get open. Half of being a good 3-point shooter is be able to get good looks. And that's the problem with CJ. He's a good shooter. By all means, he can he can hit some shots when they're open. But his biggest issue is getting good looks. And I guess some of that's a product of the offense as well. Maybe Nick Nurse should run some more sets to get better open 3-point shots. But our 3-point shooting has been abysmal, and CJ Miles has been a part of that. So those are the disappointing things from this game. Obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks are a very good team, great defensively. It's gonna be fun if we play them in the playoffs because they're an all-around solid team. But it wasn't all bad for the Raptors. Kawhi was pretty good. He didn't have one of his crazy nights, but 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. You could tell he's a bit tired. Played phenomenal defense as usual. Kawhi is still the man. Serge Ibaka was a beast. Hit a few threes. Hit 4 threes tonight. 9 for 21. I still don't really like Serge Ibaka that far out from the paint. I want him shooting more mids than I do threes. I know that's a hot take in today's NBA, but he went 4 for 11 today, which is fine. But he's really consistent from that mid-2 area. And when they were running that pick and roll at the end of the game with Kawhi and Pascal and Serge Ibaka, you can tell he's still not – he's confident enough to take it, but he's not all there. He's not a true three-point shooter. So if you're running a pick and roll at the end of the game, if you're getting a shot down the clutch of a game, I'd rather be a mid-ranger than a 3 from Serge, no matter how good he's shooting, because he's a lot better from that range. And the guy that I was kind of bewildered by tonight was Pascal Siakam. He had 17 points, playing a pretty solid game. Obviously, it's tough. He had some tough matchups guarding Giannis and all that, so he got blown by a little bit. But Giannis didn't really do too much tonight. But we really didn't take advantage of Siakam. That's one thing I'm noticing, because Siakam obviously is not a consistent star yet. He's got glimmers of a star. I think he could be an all-star this season. I think he will be an all-star this season. Hopefully, if he continues to keep up his play and improves a little bit. And the thing with Siakam, he gets to the rim at will, and he switches up our offense, because our offense right now relies on a lot of three-point shooters that aren't hitting shots consistently, and not many players that can drive. With Kyle Lowry's a completely capable driver. He should be doing it, and I'm rotted that he's not doing it. That's why he's struggling, in my opinion. But currently, he's just a three-point shooter right now. Danny Green's more of just a three-point shooter. Serge Ibaka, his handle has gotten better, but obviously don't want to be running ISOs for Serge Ibaka. And we don't have many slashers. DeLon Wright could be considered a slasher, but he's not. He's more fluid and all that. He's more of a finesse guy than a real slashing player. Pascal Siakam with Kyle Lowry not really doing that in his arsenal right now, I think is our only real slasher. OG has developed and improved his handle, so maybe once he gets back in the swing of things, he could be considered that as well. But outside of Kawhi Leonard, I think Pascal is our best driver. Let me know in the comment section if you disagree. And maybe Kyle Lowry is, if he's got his head right, but obviously he hasn't the past few games, at least in terms of attacking and scoring. But Pascal is slashing players like that are capable of giving you easy buckets. And when your offense goes through lulls, that's what you need, easy shots. Shots that just get your team back in rhythm. And when we've been going through these offensive lulls, we just try to shoot our way out of them or take tough fadeaway, mid-range threes, all that sort of stuff, shots. We don't want to take those shots, in my opinion. I think we want to get to the rim and just to break those lulls, because that's our biggest issue with our offense now. Our defense is absolutely amazing. It's what's keeping us in these games. Our offense is absolutely horrendous at times through stretches, and the defense really keeps us in these games. It's the reason we're not getting blown out. If we played that offensive performance with even our defense last year, which was still pretty good, we would have lost this game by 20-30, in my opinion. So the defense has been great, but we need to break these lulls. And I think giving the ball to Siakam could be a way to do that, because he can get an easy shot. And he always shoots it in the paint at a high clip, 7 of 12. If we could just draw up some plays to get him, maybe not necessarily ISOs, but draw up some plays that opens up the paint for Siakam and let him go to work when we're struggling. I think Kawhi and Siakam are the best on our team at getting easy shots. So maybe that's what I do. That's how I kind of switch up the offense. I give the ball to them a bit. And one thing that also surprised me as well is how well the Siakam's been playing with the bench mob. Right? Obviously, that lineup was absolutely amazing last season with Siakam running with the bench. And they ran at the end of the first quarter, which is really effective and built on the lead because we were leading in the first quarter. And then at the start of the second, we brought in Jonas with the mob and took out Siakam. And it just really didn't flow. That's when the Bucks crept back in this game, and they eventually took the lead. So if we're running, Nick Nurse mentioned in an interview that he's going to start trying to lock down a rotation. He's been testing everything out a bit, and now he's got to figure out the actual rotations that we're going to rock with the rest of the season, which is 100% fair. I think Siakam's got to get more run with the mob, and whether you have Jonas in there or not, Siakam's got to be on the floor. He's what gives that lineup energy. And, you maybe could run more offense through him there. That's my opinion. I think we got to give the ball to Kawhi and Siakam when we're struggling. But let me know what you guys think. Obviously, Lowry's a guy I'd like to give the ball to too. But right now, Lowry's not into it. And another positive tonight, Fred VanVleet played a phenomenal game. There's been, he's been down most of the season, right? He hasn't been that great, but the past few, I would say week or so, he's had some good games, some bad games. So hopefully he's just creeping his way back to steady Freddie. I want the steadiness back from Fred. He's hitting the threes. He's looking confident. If we just have that confidence, obviously he's not going to hit 5 threes a night, and if he does that, mad respect. But if he continues just to have that confidence and the ability to run an offense and make good decisions, we're going to be great. Without his production tonight and Kyle Lowry's just abysmal play, we would have lost by a lot of points. So shout out to Fred for having such a great game. Hopefully he continues to pick it up. I don't know. This game was tough. We've lost so many close ones. I'm not stressing because I really don't expect us to be this bad from the three-point line all season. I don't expect Kyle Lowry to be this bad for much longer. I thought this game he'd have a bounce-back game, but I'm hoping for the next one now. Because when you're a 4-time All-Star, it's very rare to have stretches like these. Obviously, Kyle Lowry's been inconsistent in the past, but he's never been this bad. And I doubt this will keep up. But let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of Kyle Lowry? Because it's been pretty abysmal. And I don't want to trash on him too much because he's doing other things on the court. Like, he's being phenomenal at facilitating, but it's so much harder to do that when you're not able to score. They aren't even guarding him out there. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of Kyle Lowry. We're going to swing it straight into the segments. Tonight, the Kawhi you do him like that play of the day. And tonight, it's going to Kawhi and Fred. Two guys that had good games tonight. Kawhi got a steal, ran down the court. He's been getting steals left and right, or deflections at least. Ran down the court, swung it to Lowry, to Fred for the corner three. That's when Fred really started to heat up. So that was a great play. Great game from Fred. Unfortunately, it wasn't a loss, but definitely made me say Kawhi, you do him like that. But not all plays can be the Kawhi, you do him like that play of the day, and some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight, the oh, geez play of the day, it's going to Brook Lopez on the Milwaukee Bucks. Everyone, if you follow the NBA, you've known that Brook Lopez has turned himself into the 7-foot Klay Thompson. That's his new nickname now. He's splashing threes left, right, and center as the center for the Milwaukee Bucks. So, I'm not saying oh geez for him hitting threes. He hit 5 tonight, I believe. Yeah, 5 threes for Brook Lopez. But I was really surprised at the type of ones he was taking. Obviously, he's never been a three-point. He didn't come into the league. He wasn't a three-point shooter 2-3 seasons ago. But he developed it about 2 seasons ago. And he's more of a set guy, in my opinion. Watching him play in the past, he's more of a set player. But there's a few times at this game, he was doing some between-the-legs dribbles. He shot one kind of dribble pull right with Fred VanVleet in his face from the three-point line. That was kind of wild for me to see. It made me say, oh, geez, watching this game. So, let me know what you guys think. Brook Lopez, he's kind of nasty this season. Got to give him credit there. And finally, the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award. We got a couple. It's obviously going to Lowry. I didn't give it to him last game, but he deserved it last game. He deserves it tonight. Kyle Lowry, get your jumper back. I'd really appreciate it. It's also going to the last possession. We're down by 3, and we ran a play. We got Kawhi the ball and went pretty clean, but unfortunately he was about 5 feet behind the three-point line, and he randomly just let it shoot. He let it fly from about 40 feet out, and there was about 12 seconds left on the clock. So that was a bit confusing in my opinion. We also made a substitution, subbing out Fred VanVleet for CJ Miles. CJ only 1 for 3 from 3 tonight, and Fred 5 for 7. They had Giannis on the inbounder, so maybe Nick Nurse thought it would be better to have more height on the inbounds. But still, Fred VanVleet, he was your best three-point shooter that night. You're down by 3 with 12 seconds to go. You wanna get him on the court. Interesting take, but it was a well-coached game at the end. Both sides are playing really well. The Bucks are a really good team. I'm not too frustrated. The Bucks are playing really well. They're a good squad. We're still at the top of the East, though. We're still at the top, 21-7. We've lost 3 of the last 4 games. We're gonna bounce back. We can't get frustrated as Raptors fans. Anyways, you're the best for making it this far. Check out the Raptors Digest Instagram, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. Hopefully next game we get the W. That's all we gotta ask for. Anyways, I'm signing off. Cheers.